For more than 60 years, Cher has been one of the world's most iconic voices, a dazzling force who defined eras, challenged expectations, and reinvented herself again and again. But behind the feathers, sequins, and fierce stage lights lies a life shaped not only by fame, but by heartbreak, illness, and loss. From her painful childhood to turbulent marriages and lifelong health battles, Cher's journey has been one of resilience and raw honesty. Today, as she faces new challenges, she's finally revealing the truth behind her strength. The story of a woman who never stopped fighting, even when the spotlight faded. A childhood of pain and survival. Cher wasn't born into the glamour that later defined her life. Born Cheryl Sarkeesian in 1946 in El Centro, California, her early years were filled with hardship and instability. Her father, John Sarkeesian, battled addiction and left when she was a baby, while her mother, Georgia Holt, struggled to provide for her. At one point, Cher was placed in an orphanage, seeing her mother only through a small window. She later recalled, "He put me in an orphanage so my mom could work." Georgia remarried several times, creating a cycle of new homes and unstable father figures. Through that chaos, young Cher developed a tough spirit and a burning dream to one day rise above it all. Her resilience became her greatest survival tool, one that would shape her into the fierce woman the world would one day know. From outsider to rising star. Even when her family life began to stabilize, Cher never truly fit in. When her mother married a bank manager and sent her to private school, Cher felt like a misfit among wealthier kids. She struggled in school, later learning she had dyslexia, but she was naturally creative and expressive. She'd sing during lunch breaks, wear daring outfits, and talk about becoming famous long before it seemed possible. In 1965, that dream took shape when she and Sonny Bono released I Got You Babe. Their chemistry, both musical and romantic, captured the spirit of the 1960s. Soon, Cher's unique contralto voice and fearless fashion made her a global sensation. Yet, even as fame found her, she carried the wounds of her past. Quiet reminders that success doesn't erase the pain that made you strong. A star beyond music. Cher refused to be boxed into one identity. After dominating pop music in the 1960s and 70s, she conquered television with the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour and later her solo variety show, Cher. Her quick wit, style, and charisma drew millions of viewers. Then came Hollywood, where she stunned critics with her acting depth. From Silkwood to Moonstruck, for which she won an Oscar, Cher proved she wasn't just a singer in sparkles. She was a powerhouse performer. Over time, she became one of the few artists to win an Oscar, Grammy, and Emmy. Her career was a triumph of reinvention. Yet, behind every accolade was a woman who had fought through fear, illness, and heartbreak to keep standing on her own terms. The pain behind the fame. Though Cher's rise to stardom seemed effortless, her personal life was anything but. Her childhood pain followed her into adulthood. She once shared that her mother almost ended her pregnancy due to fear of raising a child alone, a revelation that broke Cher's heart years later. George's many marriages meant constant uprooting, forcing Cher to adapt over and over again. She once said, "We ate canned stew one week, then lived in Beverly Hills the next." The inconsistency made her both adaptable and guarded. Even when the world adored her, she battled self-doubt and emotional exhaustion. Her glamour became her armor, a dazzling disguise hiding the scars of a girl who had grown up learning that love often came with pain. Loves that broke her spirit. At 16, Cher met Sonny Bono, a man nearly 12 years older. What began as partnership soon turned into both creative and emotional captivity. Together, they became icons. But behind closed doors, Cher endured manipulation and betrayal. Sonny's control and infidelities left her feeling trapped. She admitted she once contemplated suicide during their marriage, saying, "I wasn't allowed to do anything except work." Their relationship collapsed under the weight of fame and pain, leaving Cher scarred but unbroken. Later, she married musician Greg Allman, hoping for stability. But his drug addiction and erratic behavior turned their love into chaos. Cher realized she had to walk away to protect her young son, Elijah. These relationships taught her that love could wound as deeply as it could heal. Yet, she never stopped believing in her own strength to rise from it. The heart of a mother. Cher's greatest joys and deepest sorrows often came through motherhood. Her eldest child, Chaz Bono, born during her marriage to Sonny, later became a symbol of courage through his gender transition. Something Cher initially struggled to accept, but ultimately embraced with pride and love. Her youngest, Elijah Blue Allman, faced darker battles. He began using drugs as a child, and despite periods of recovery, addiction followed him for decades. In 2024, Cher sought legal guardianship over him, fearing he was in danger. The case became public and painful. Though she dropped the conservatorship, her son's recent overdose in 2025 has once again left her heartbroken. Behind her fame, Cher remains a mother desperate to save her child. Proof that even icons can be consumed by the same fears and grief that haunt any parent. Illness and the fight to keep going. While the world saw her as unstoppable, Cher's body told a different story. In the late 1980s, she began experiencing severe fatigue while filming The Witches of Eastwick. Doctors dismissed her symptoms, claiming it was all in her head. But Cher knew something was wrong. She was eventually diagnosed with Epstein-Barr virus and chronic fatigue syndrome, conditions that nearly ended her career. She became so weak she couldn't perform or even stand a shower. At her lowest point, she thought she might die. In interviews, she confessed how devastating it was to turn down major film roles because of illness. Yet, through determination and treatment abroad, she slowly regained strength. Her recovery wasn't quick or complete. The illness still lingers. But Cher's ability to perform again became a testament to her willpower. She showed that true strength isn't about never falling, but about getting back up no matter how much it hurts. A daughter's farewell. Cher's relationship with her mother, Georgia Holt, was one of love, complexity, and deep respect. Georgia was both a dreamer and a survivor, raising her children through poverty and heartbreak. She taught Cher resilience not through words, but through example. Even when they clashed, like when young Cher ran away or defied her, their bond never broke. When Georgia passed away in 2022 at the age of 96, Cher announced it simply, "Mom is gone." That brief message carried the weight of decades of love, lessons, and forgiveness. Losing her mother left Cher shattered, but it also reminded her fans that beneath the fame, she was still a daughter mourning the woman who had shaped her life. Loss, grief, and finding peace. Time has taken many of the men Cher once loved. Sonny Bono's death in 1998 hit her hardest. Despite their painful history, she delivered a heartfelt eulogy, calling him the most unforgettable character I've ever met. They had found peace before he died, his final apology offering her closure. Years later, when Greg Allman passed away in 2017, she was again overcome with grief. Her tribute on social media was brief, but deeply emotional, recalling their private nicknames and love that had survived beyond heartbreak. These moments showed the depth of Cher's compassion, a woman who could forgive those who hurt her and mourn them with genuine tenderness. In loss, she found grace, and through grief, she rediscovered her humanity. The legend, still standing. After decades of fame, illness, and loss, Cher stands as more than just a superstar. She's a survivor. Her life has been a symphony of reinvention, echoing strength through every note. Even as she battles health issues and family turmoil, her spirit remains fierce and unapologetic. She continues to tour, record, and speak openly about the struggles that nearly broke her. Cher's story isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about a woman who turned pain into art, heartbreak into strength, and silence into song. Beneath the glitter and glamour beats the heart of a fighter, a woman who, even after everything, still believes in the power of resilience, love, and the freedom to be unapologetically herself.